What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 2 with our guest, Andrew DeStefano.
There you go.
Captain Andrew DeStefano.
But Captain Andrew looks more Irish than Italian. I don't know what.
Yeah, but his hair's slicked back, so.
His hair was perfect, like in Werewolves of London. You hear that
Yeah.
song? His hair was perfect. I love that.
Warren Zevon.
That's right. That's right, man. So, Mark, I just was saying when we were off the air that you and I have been offered to speak at the National Law Enforcement Association luncheon on April 7th at Gallagher's Steakhouse. Are they fucking crazy to have us speak?
No, I mean, it's great. It's.
But turns out they're fans of the show. I mean, I love to say that we actually have fans.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's hopefully we'll get some into position eventually. We'll keep climbing up, and we'll get like deputized or something.
Do you think we'll change if we ever make big money from this?
You give me some power, man.
Yeah, give me some power. I already have a nice car. I have an Acura 28.
I wouldn't waste it on it. I want to get something. I want to get deputized like a sheriff or something.
You want to be a
He's
sheriff?
going to get a boat.
Yeah,
a marshal.
He's going to graduate from that Carmel boat to a real wooden boat.
I want to get an upgrade. I want to put a little engine on the back of my boat.
That would be good.
Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be nice.
You were telling us, Andrew was telling us the difference between marshals and sheriffs. Because there's a lot of those marshals. What do they do?
Well, in the counties, the sheriff is usually has like a law enforcement side of the house. Then they have the jail, and they have the civil.
Well, you got to live in a certain house to be the sheriff?
No, I called it the house, like
I'm
the
just
side.
I'm just kidding.
And the police side is like the police department. And then they have a jail.
So there's one.
So it's corrections, basically.
The sheriff is basically. Like, do you have to wear the stirrups on the boots and the 6-shooter, or can you upgrade to a semi-automatic now?
No, it's business attire, but they do wear uniforms.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw a guy yesterday. Yeah, I saw him yesterday in the St. Patty's Day parade wearing his uniform.
Does the Spurs go jingle jangle? What were they doing yesterday? They're already starting to celebrate St. Patty's Day, huh?
Yeah, Putnam had their St. Patty's Day parade, so I marched in.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, it was good.
So did you mention that thing?
Yeah, I mentioned we're going to speak
okay.
at the National Law Enforcement luncheon.
It's going to be interesting, 7th, man. Yeah, it's so
I'm
going
to tell like the story of police off the cuff, and I'll do a couple of minutes of comedy, but then I'm going to introduce you, and you're going to slay the room.
Yeah. Pretty much, that's the way it's going to go.
Because there's,
that's
a lot
plan.
of cops, they want to laugh, but there's some uptight motherfuckers too, probably at these events. You
know what? I find it always.
Really, you think so?
And I've always,
honestly,
I've always found it to be very, very positive. I think there's a lot of self-defeating that could happen to you when you have to entertain people, but for the most part, 99% of the time they're going to appreciate it, they're going to love it, and it's going to be great. And every once in a while, it lays an egg, and it's not the end of the world.
Nah,
just keep moving on.
We all know what it's like to bomb. Everyone.
Well, especially you,
Right?
Bill. If anybody knows about bombing, Bill is. You've become quite the expert at that.
I'm an expert at bombing,
I'm just
man.
kidding.
You have to. You know what it is? You got to just soldier on, even when you know you're not doing well, right?
Yeah, that's a shame too, because people. I think that's the big problem too. Is a lot of people have told people, oh, you know what? You got to keep trying, never give up. Like, if you suck, man, you should quit. There's so many different things that you can do. Like, why would you keep going back and just getting slapped? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that with comedy, because there's no physical pain to it.
Right.
I mean, there is, anxiety before you perform, and there might be some depression if you eat it really bad.
Right.
But most of the people that bomb on a regular basis, they're delusional. They think they're doing pretty well. And that's why they keep coming back. There's nobody there to give them like some physical pain. Like,
that's true.
When you get off the stage, there should be somebody that, like, as you get off the stage, just smack you in the back of the head.
You
suck. Like, remember when you used to walk back to the dugout as a kid? And somebody else's father was the coach of the team, and he'd smack. It was okay for him to smack you in the back. You freaking suck. This fucking sucks. Hey man, easy.
Watch the hair.
So Andrew, do you want us to come up and speak to anyone at one of your lodges? Give them wisdom from police off the cuff?
Oh, I think they'd love to hear it.
What's that meeting like? What do you guys actually discuss at that meeting?
Which one, the VFW?
Yeah, the hour meeting where you're the chaplain, so you go in.
It's just
you
about
start
the post.
You start off with a prayer.
Well, you know, the Pledge of Allegiance, and then you know, stuff like that, and then it's just about the post, about running the post.
Is there any stop, question, and frisks going on at this?
So everybody
Not at
for the
this
pledge.
meeting. That's after at the bar.
What happened?
Each post has a bar.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
No, they salute. Salute.
So
Veterans
But
are
you
allowed to
also,
salute.
yeah, you guys are all veterans.
Uh-huh.
But you're allowed to salute even though you're not in uniform?
Yes.
Okay. Because I remember they were making a big deal about Obama saluting, and he wasn't in, and that was just, they were just being pricks, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Remember he always used to.
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to do
He
it?
used to give. He used to whip it out.
Yeah.
That's not okay to do if you're not a member of the military or.
Well, I mean,
a
he's the
veteran?
commander in chief.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
so
true.
yeah,
Technically, yeah, right. So he
exactly.
can do whatever he
I
wants.
mean, Trump was never in the military either, but
Yeah,
he's
no.
very respectful of the
Right,
military
right.
and also of the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves
Service.
saluting, man.
Yeah, he likes that shit.
So you guys do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then, like how long? How much time are you wasting before you guys start hitting the bottle hard? Come on,
It
we got,
takes about 5 minutes.
we got 45 minutes before my wife is looking at
Let's
me.
face it, the meeting is all about drinking. So what are all these preliminary bullshit
I hope
things
these
you
guys
do?
ain't watching this thing. I swear to God, man. They're gonna be like, "What did you do?"
We got 45 minutes before I got to be home. Let's go. Crack open that keg.
I want to get my $10 worth. Porteous used to say, 20 on the wood makes me feel good. He'd put a $20 bill and he'd drink from, 7 to 4 a.m. And the 20 was for the bartender. The beer was all free, 20 on the wood at Mario's. 20 on the wood makes me feel good. Because he told us the story. One prick tried to take change. And he goes, whoa, hey, what are you doing? You just drank for 5 hours. Oh, I was going to take 10. What do you mean you're taking 10 back?
Yeah. Cheap guys, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. The contract has to be sacred, right?
Oh, yeah. Somebody's
If
got
it's
to
a
listen.
$20 bill, you leave. It's a $20
Yeah.
bill,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
You can't
Yeah.
do that.
Taking change. Hey, so have you ever been in Coogan's?
Oh, all the time. I
see?
mean, not recently, but yeah, all the time.
That was your home base?
Years ago, yeah.
So you know Dave and
Yeah, those
Peter
guys were
Walsh.
like, yeah, those guys are golden. I
Yeah.
mean, those guys
Dave
really.
Dave did our show.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah.
I saw it in the thing. Yeah, they really. Those are good guys.
Yeah, excellent
They
guys. man.
really did a lot for the Heights and a lot for the people.
And Dave makes a point to say that he is from Manhattan. He's not from the Bronx. He's from Inwood, and it's in Manhattan.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't like when you imply that he's from the Bronx. Right? Didn't you say that, Mark?
Yeah, he's made a big deal out of it. He's a good guy. Irish
Yeah.
Catholic man. He
Yeah,
was,
they do a lot for the people up in Heights.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, when everyone was
It's a community
upset
center.
when it looked like Coogan's was going to be no more.
Yeah, the hospital tried
When those
to
price
jack up-
gouging
And he actually
mofos.
said, he told us that
Those
Manuel,
price gouging Columbia Presbyterian.
the guy that rode in the Heights and rode Hamilton,
Yeah.
Manuel, he was the one that actually put out the tweet that saved Coogan's.
Is that right?
He said we have to save Coogan's,
And that-
then
that
everybody
politician-
responded.
I know a lot of
who-
politicians stepped up.
Yeah, they did, but it was after
it-
the tweet.
Is it Linares? Is that the guy's name?
No, Espaillat.
Espaillat.
He's the congressman
Espaillat,
up
that's
there.
right.
He got
No,
involved.
he met with the Columbia Press.
Yeah, he did.
And he
yeah,
was
yeah.
very instrumental in saving
yeah.
Coogan's,
Good,
too.
good. I'm happy that it worked out. I
They've
mean,
done
it
a lot
is-
of fundraisers over
Yeah.
the years.
Oh, they've done a lot of everything, man.
They do that salsa, blues, and shamrocks run. It's
Yeah,
like
she
a
ran it.
5K. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They changed the
That's
name now. He
great.
said.
Yeah, they
Oh,
did. Yeah,
well-
because Coogan's used to fund it. And
It
then,
got too big. They said they
yeah,
tossed it to the
yeah.
Roadrunners.
Right, right.
I can't run anymore with my hip, so I'd
No
have
more.
to go in one of those electric carts.
Carvel cart.
Little Carmel cart.
I'm an alternate, by the way.
Yeah, you're
The
an
alternate
alternate.
marathon. Yeah.
He's the Grand Marshal.
It's a Grand Marshal.
I've been an
marathon.
alternate now I sign up every year as an alternate.
But you never get alternated.
If somebody doesn't make it, if somebody can't make it and they're running short on people, they call me up. I run in. So
Costs $250 to enter that.
yeah,
that
not
run,
unless
yeah. It's a
not
lot
if
of
you're an
money.
alternate.
Is it of
It's
the
a lot of
marathon?
money. Yeah, it's a lot. Of
Wow.
money.
Wait, but then now they have the 9-in-1 or something like that, right? You could you could run 10 races and you could get in there.
Oh, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I know somebody that did this.
That's
This is a
pretty
good thing.
grueling, then.
Uh-huh.
Did you run the marathon too?
Every year. Yeah, I meet her on 120 and First, and that's mile 19 of the run. Wow. Not even sweating. It's like. nothing.
Really?
Oh,
You're a
please.
serious runner then, right? Wow.
Yeah, it's-
That's
It's-
amazing, man. I sweat when I drive my car 19 miles.
I didn't. I never liked running. I did it for a long time. and it worked. My schedule was 7-2-5-3, and those are the 4 days. Then I take a day off. But then I also used to go lift weights. That was when I was in phenomenal shape. But to do more than that, man, it's just I don't even know how. That runner's high, man. I'd rather just smoke pot. It's just,
You talk about a job that's difficult to maintain your physicality and to work out all the time.
Right.
I'm not talking about if you're in community affairs. I'm
Right.
talking about if you're a cop, a working cop, making
Right,
arrests,
right,
or a
right.
boss working these crazy tours.
Right.
You got to really make an effort to
Yeah,
stay in
yeah.
shape.
On your
yeah,
feet
but
all
that's
the
an
time.
easy one too, because you could run anywhere. You bring your sneakers with you, you bring a pair of shorts, you just run.
Yeah, but
that's the benefit
it's
of
being
you don't
tired.
need. All you
Yeah,
need is
yeah.
outdoors.
Look, I walked around, my last one in homicide, I walked around like a zombie because I was working 450 hours a year overtime. I was teaching part-time, and I was the SBA delegate. So I never got any sleep. I still worked out, but it's tough. You
Yeah,
got
it's
to really
hard,
make
yeah,
an effort
yeah.
because it's so easy to blow off the gym. I'm
Hold on one
exhausted.
second. I didn't bring it with me, but usually I bring the smallest violin in the world. I left it in my car today.
Come on, is that not the
No,
truth?
it is true. It is true. Yeah, you work, 10 hours on your feet.
Yeah,
On your feet
yeah.
working.
Well, we go back to that theory. What I told
Take it
you,
on
you
the
can do
treadmill.
whatever you want. Just realize it's not
suck.
gonna. It's not gonna last forever. You're gonna run out.
Yeah.
No offense, but you're gonna run out of miles. You're gonna.
Never.
You don't think so, but you do. I mean, is it gonna preserve your life?
You're gonna
Yeah,
say
you'll live
you
longer
ran-
than me,
you,
but
you ran 10,000 miles. That's it.
that's it.
You had your 10,000.
See me, I'm not gonna do 10,000 miles. I'll never reach that, but I'm gonna still go. Keep walking slowly up, waiting for the elevator for as long as I can.
That's good.
But tall guys don't live long though.
You're not that tall.
I'm 6'4".
That's 7-footers don't
No,
live that
6'4".
long.
Yeah, 7 footers is dropping. down.
Anything over 6 feet.
Nah.
Who? Tell me them.
You're saying people that
Tell me
like
something, go ahead.
6'5". I don't know that many people.
And not
I
only
can-
that, but all I got to do is make it to 53, and then I don't even care about the
You
coronavirus.
you outlived your father?
No, because nobody dies at 53. Think about it. People die 50, 51, 52, 54. Name me one person in history that's ever died, any man that's ever died 53. You can't. You know why? Because they don't. It's a pass. You get a pass.
It's like asking about statistics. I have no idea whether
No?
they're true or not.
Prove me wrong.
It's like age comp stat here.
That's
prove me
right.
wrong.
That's right.
But you're not allowed to look at your phone.
When you made captain, where'd you go as a captain?
I went to the Bronx. Went to the 4-2.
4-2, and you were an XO.
XO, yeah. And then
Did you ever become a CO?
for a little bit.
What
In the
what-
4-2.
4-2?
In the 4-2, yeah.
Well,
There was
why'd you didn't want to play the promotion game? You didn't want to make DI?
No. It was time to go. I mean, I had 16 years. I had my 4 years military, and I got 3/4 anyway.
Oh, you got
Oh,
three
so
quarters?
you got-
Yeah. But
Why were you
did
holding
have-
that back on us?
What's that?
The 3/4. We usually ask to borrow money when we know that people like 3/4.
We've been talking coronavirus for the last hour.
Hey, he be
And
try-
boats.
No wonder he's smiling all
Yeah,
the time.
he'd
He's
be
very
tough on it.
relaxed.
You should be a criminal. You couldn't
Holy
interrogate
shit.
him. You couldn't get anything out of him. You
man.
can see the way he answered the question.
He
What?
didn't give
Who?
that up. Like, we had to
Who?
pull that
What?
shit out. I
Where?
used my homicide skills to get that out of
I
him.
noticed that, man.
You
That was
know?
tough. Man, I'm starting to sweat here.
So
Holy
so you
shit.
did 16 years, really. You got
I did.
3/4 at 16.
I did.
But
Oh,
And I
shit.
had bought it back anyway, so that was a waste.
No, but 60. Wait a minute. You had the 4 years military.
Yes.
So you had a 20-year pension,
I did.
but you got 3/4, so you don't get the variable anyway.
That's correct.
Yeah. Guys are always trying to rally up the crowd on Facebook. I should get fucking the variable. I only get, $15,000 a month tax free. I need that extra 1,000. Like no one's supporting them. Like, hey, fuck you. You hit the prize. You hit the lottery. I don't give a shit if you get the variable.
I don't know who's having these arguments. Where does this happen?
It's on Facebook. Look,
never seen it.
let me explain it to you.
I get it. I get it.
He gets tax free, right?
Uh-huh.
And,
Once
but
you
he
get
doesn't get the
3/4 though.
variable though.
No,
So
I don't
guys
care.
are like, yeah. Look, if he got it, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't give a shit. But I mean,
I wouldn't listen. You get 3/4.
but I'm not going to join a picket line. No, guys.
If you got 3/4 and
15K
you
a
didn't even
month.
really bad. Some guys, they got 3/4, but they got 3.5 quarters. Like they got like real
They got
3/4.
hurt,
They're
yeah.
jammed. They're messed up. But if you're fine, just shut up. Forget about the voting. Just take your money and run.
Did you go to 9/11?
exactly.
You were
Oh, yeah,
9/11
yeah.
responder?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you parachute in?
No, I didn't parachute in. But, yeah.
Were
it was-
you a captain then? Or?
No, I was lieutenant.
Lieutenant then.
Yeah, and I was supposed to close on my house that day, and I never made that.
Yeah.
But my captain came in, and he said, "Listen, I know you got your closing today, but they just had a plane crash at the World Trade Center. They just called a level 4, and I need you."
Right.
And so I was part of Manhattan North's response to go down the initial response, and
Well, you can always close on another day, you know.
yeah, well, he would close like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
But he, that captain, he recently passed away.
What was the captain's
Eddie
name?
McGreal.
I know the
May
name.
rest
Eddie
in peace.
McGreal, yeah, he died about a year
Was the
ago.
cancer related to
Cancer
9/11?
9/11, yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of people.
He had
getting
reached
that.
out to me because he had moved to North Carolina, and he said, because we came back that night looking like Pillsbury Doughboys,
Yeah.
and he said, remember when we cleaned ourselves? I guess we didn't clean ourselves enough, and he goes, I got the 9/11 cancer, so you better go get checked.
Wow, man. I go to the Mount Sinai thing twice a year.
I
Yeah.
went once. I haven't been.
Yeah, you
I
should
go
follow
every
up.
year, and not only that, but I got certified with GERD and sleep apnea. So, thank God. But not only that, just because you get the certification doesn't mean it's over. You continue going, and I've had a battery of other tests, but thank God so far there's no cancer. So,
Wow.
but you should go definitely every year. I mean, that's a
You know,
no-brainer.
you know what was amazing, and I know probably all of us worked at Fresh Kills.
I never went to Fresh
I went out there,
In
yeah.
the beginning, it was like, okay, put on these boots, put on this suit, blah 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 blah. If you eat, you gotta shower, and that lasted like one fucking day. And it was like, yeah, fuck that, we're not doing that. And they were like, park your cars a mile away down the hill. Next thing you know, people are pulling their cars right up. I was like, who's keeping control of this shit? It was it just didn't. They couldn't maintain it.
Yeah, that was mostly detectives that went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was standing in line to sign in the book, and I had the notification for Fresh Kills, and I think I didn't want to do it for whatever reason. I just had
It
something
was
to do.
nasty, man.
Yeah,
So then I
it
go,
was.
oh man. So then the guy behind me goes, you don't want it? I said, no, I don't want it. Why you
It
want
was
it?
4 hours overtime.
It was the whole tour, I think.
Oh, it was the whole tour. No,
So
because
then he
you
was
got
like, I'll take
guaranteed
it.
4 hours. It was a 12-hour tour.
I forget what it was, but he.
You could have got it on your RDO.
So I gave it to him, and he took it. I never went down there.
Yeah, no, it was, and you looked at the ground. There was water. It was bubbling. It was like the Addams Family from the methane gas, right?
Yeah.
And then it was
that
just,
place is horrible.
it was so noisy.
Yeah.
Like you got disoriented because the noise from the machines and everything, and the things that ran the metal through them, on those tracks.
Yes.
They were so damn noisy too,
Yeah, those
and it
belts.
just was a very
Yeah.
unpleasant.
And you had to sift through that
experience.
stuff.
Yeah,
With the gloves on.
It was terrible. You know, it's funny. I know people, and I mean, I don't give a shit. People took souvenirs from that. I could never
God,
touch a thing,
really?
man. I just couldn't take anything because I was like, this is holy ground.
Yeah.
I mean, like a World Trade Center, whatever, a fork, because it had said WTC.
Oh, my God.
The restaurants and stuff going through that shit, golf balls, and all
Right,
stuff.
right.
I said I would never take anything,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because it's
yeah.
unholy. I felt, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's almost like
that's
I remember
eerie.
going
Indian
down
burial
there.
grounds,
Right,
you know?
right. You're
I
bringing
remember
that
going
home.
down to the site, Ground Zero, probably like 2 or 3 days after 9/11, maybe 2 days, and they had the tent set up there, and they were giving away like boots and jackets and all this stuff. And we went in there, and you're looking at it's brand new apparel, everything you can think of, Carhartt, everything, overalls, hats, gloves, boots. And before you know it, you're just like taking this, and then at some point I was holding this stuff. I was like, nah, man, I don't need this. I got my own.
Right.
You know, I just put everything back and.
Well, I would took stuff I would use while
No,
I
I
was
mean,
down there.
if
you
you're
know?
going to be working down there every single day,
Right.
that's one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I was already assigned to the family center. We were going to be,
Right.
taking missing persons reports in the armory. So, I didn't really need this stuff. I
No.
was just basically been stealing. So I was like, yeah, I'm not taking
Well,
it.
actually, the pile was the worst place,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, I
I mean,
remember
that was
that, yeah.
smoking for weeks. It was still on fire for
right.
3-4
We were
weeks
passing
afterwards.
the buckets back. Yeah.
And then the whole thing would be like, quiet!
Yeah.
Like, come on. No one was under there that they
Yeah,
could
yeah,
hear.
no.
Although they found out years later that people did live under there for a long time, and people
Really?
actually died of malnutrition. Well, think of how horrible that was to die that way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Dr. Hirsch, who was the chief
was the
medical
MD,
examiner,
right.
he gave a speech that we went to, and he told us about some of that stuff. which was
wow.
horrendous. Just think of how horrendous that was.
They didn't publicize that. I
No,
don't think.
no. Well, days after, for as long as the radio battery was working, people were screaming for help the
Right.
next day.
I remember.
You
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, everyone has their own 9/11
Sure.
story, and I think that we all responded to it. It's like a badge of honor for everyone that responded, but it's sort of a bad memory, right?
Yeah. I remember hearing Morris Smith's voice. I remember that.
Yeah, horrible.
Very clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
With the radio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
screaming, yeah.
Yeah, you hear her. Like a very faint help. Very faint.
Yeah.
I think twice she said it.
Yep. I had met a guy that was in my, I'd taken CIC course before this, so I met some guys. This guy from, I think it was the 6-7 squad, and he was a mountain climber, and him and another guy rappelled down to the guts inside the building.
Wow.
And they said full voids, rooms were intact. I think it was amazing.
Wow.
But they didn't see anyone. Obviously, they were looking
Right.
for anyone that was alive. No one was
Wow,
alive.
wow.
But I was just like, wow, man, you got balls to do
Yeah.
that.
That's, seeing the pictures did no justice at all. I mean, that
No.
was really, you had to be there for
So they were
that.
too much.
Yeah, and seeing the towers fall.
I used to know a guy who used to go spelunking. I didn't even know what that was.
Caves, going in caves, right?
I worked with a guy in the
Yeah.
squad, and I remember I didn't know him that well, so I just basically it was like an introductory or just trying to get to know. Hey, how was your vacation? He goes, all right. So where'd you go? And he went to I don't know where it was, but it just sounded unusual.
Splunking.
No, it was like
The word sounds-
Colorado or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Something where it's not really a destination
Place
for
cops would go.
vacation. Well, cops. Cops always go to the same thing. They go to
Atlantic City, Jersey Shore,
The Catskills.
They're always those
Poconos, Carmel.
what do they call those vacations with you get the week all inclusive.
Yeah.
They do a lot of those, cops.
It's free. It's for me.
Well, you get it's all inclusive. But this guy went out of his way to go. So I was like, what are you doing over there? He goes, I go spelunking. So I was like, this guy's gonna be weird. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And I just took off. I just glided away. But then I realized, I found out later on what spelunking is. It's like that. It's cave diving.
Yeah.
You didn't Google it?
Nah, back then I didn't even think there was a Google.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we were Googling
Spelunking.
back then.
Who was that? I think I'm,
Alex.
I knew it was
Yeah.
him. I just knew it was him.
Yeah, the great
'Cause
outdoorsman.
yeah.
He's my favorite guy.
I knew it had to be him, man.
Well, what was great? It was the National Geographic story. That's his story. I
Yeah.
love that story.
Well, tell it.
We used to, on top of the lockers, we used to have a stack of magazines to give to the perps that were waiting to be interrogated, and to keep them on ice, chill. And so you'd always ask him, you want something to read? And then Alex would, they would say, yeah, right. Who doesn't want something to read to kill time while you're waiting right before you get interrogated? So he'd go and he'd grab two, he'd have a stack of National Geographics and he'd give it to me. He goes, read that, it'll change your life. It's just the idea of it, man. I love
The idea that they could read.
No, it's just that you could see they were like, is this guy messing with me?
Yeah.
And, some of these people yo, and obviously some of the subject matter is probably not something. It's not National Geographic is not about who's the best rapper.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Who has the
yeah.
best music video? No, it's about spelunking. It's about outdoors.
Right,
it's about
right.
the rest of the world, not just the two corners that you hang out in, and that's the whole neighborhood. It's a funny thing with the traveling. We were starting to realize how much traveling we do when you're not supposed to be. You probably shouldn't be traveling as much as you do. And then I think to myself about the people that we know from the neighborhoods that we worked in. That person that. It's hard to explain to the average citizen this mentality where that person doesn't leave those 3 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
They rarely.
Right,
they're
that's
always gonna. They're always within that 3 blocks is even a stretch. It's really like the 2 blocks, the 2.5, 3 blocks. Man, they got that's They're always out there. That's where you can find them. They
Mark,
never
you're
go
so
away.
right, because when we'd be looking for someone for a homicide, the joke would be like, he's probably about 4 blocks away, right? It's not like he fled to
Well, look at where
Florida,
Larry Davis went.
Yeah.
We had Rick
Martinez,
and he was one of the first ESU guys through the door, and when they were going to get Larry Davis, and they found Larry Davis 17 days later, but right there in the Bronx, a couple of blocks away at his
from
sister's apartment.
Yeah.
And we know that's the mentality in these neighborhoods. They don't really get out that much. There's not
Right.
that much traveling, you know. So
I don't think they feel safe to leave their hood. You know, leave.
and an
their
irony in a
folks.
way, you're talking about some of the toughest, craziest people
Right.
in
Yeah, that's
in the
their
neighborhoods,
world. That's
but
their,
they're scared to go anywhere else.
Right. Right.
Because you think of how many years of doing whatever nonsense you're doing to earn that little bit of respect that you have within that little neighborhood there.
Right.
Don't mess with crazy Flacco, whatever.
Flacco.
You know what I'm saying? You got a reputation
Pito,
up there.
Flacco. Got any more for us?
You go to the Rockaways, guess what? Nobody knows who you are over there. You know what I'm saying?
It's true, man. You're not the badass in the Rockaways. They don't know you.
Yeah, those are your 3 blocks of of your world.
You're
Yeah.
king.
Of your respect.
People don't travel outside that.
I think we're doing way too much traveling anymore. People should just sit still. Stop going anywhere. Stop.
Yeah,
Enough.
with the
Stay
coro-
home.
With the
Go to Jones
coronavirus.
Beach.
Go to Orchard Beach.
Orchard Beach.
Georgia
Jones
Beach.
You know George Menig. You know George
George,
Menig. I sent a picture to Facebook. He said, "Oh, great cop, great cop." So you're getting some recognition already.
He must have me confused with someone else.
Good sheriff too.
I s-
Heard he's running for sheriff.
No, I saw some of you guys you had on here. I'm like, wow, you got some.
We had some
heavy hitters on here.
amazing
Yeah,
guests on this.
yeah.
You know, one of the things we always talk to each other about, besides how much fun the show is to do, is like how we've met such great people
Sure.
from doing this. You
Sure.
know?
Yeah, like I would never be asked to be on the show.
He's a good comic. Come on.
Nobody's ever asked me to be on this
How
show.
many combat crosses you got?
Well, I saw you on TV. I saw you on what was the name of the show that you did?
Perfect
The
Murder.
Perfect Murder.
The Perfect Murder.
Yeah, I did.
That was on the ID channel.
Yeah,
that
I
was a
did
great
6
show.
episodes, but it never went anywhere. That's it. I'm done. My acting career's over now.
6 different episodes?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was. I only saw. I saw one. I think one case.
Yeah, no, I did 6 different episodes.
Were you with
yeah.
Dennis Cherns that day?
Yes, we were talking about
That was
a
the
case
one.
in the 2-3.
Yes.
Where it was a double murder, Carmen Quinones and
Yes,
Ruben
yes,
Frederick,
yes.
and then they duct
Yeah,
taped
the guy
it.
upstairs or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was over. That was a murder for hire. It was an interesting case. The woman who was murdered, her ex-husband lived on the 3rd floor with his new wife. The devious bitch new wife hired these guys to kill her, so
Wow.
she would get the building. That's
Wow.
basically what it was all about. Yeah, real vicious guys
Wow.
killed them.
You remember watching the
Wait
show?
a
It
minute,
was
wait a
great.
minute. You're saying the guy's wife is vicious.
Yeah, she hired these guys to kill.
She was living downstairs.
The wife who owned the building with her ex-husband, who lived on the 3rd floor with his new wife.
Yeah, you got to get out of there.
Yeah. Oh, that was
That's
weird in
stupid.
itself. What couple can live in the same building with their ex?
Yeah, that's strange.
That's right away. We found that very strange. You know, that case we got the killers in like 6 or 7 days, but that lady who did the whole thing, it took like 4 or 5 years to build a case against her.
Oh wow.
And then she got life. She was a little devious little gargoyle. She got life without parole. And it was these guys, and they stabbed them to death like 20-something times.
Yeah, that was a great show. I remember watching that. And I said, I know those guys.
Yeah, Dennis Cherns. He was a great boss. He was a good friend.
Yeah,
I'm
Dennis,
still
good
friends
guy.
with him to this day.
I-
But he works for the state attorney general's office.
Yeah,
now.
he came to our county once. I saw him.
Yeah.
There was an arrest to be made for some sort of political case.
Yeah.
So if I come up to your town over there in Putnam, like before I get, like I can get into the neighborhoods and stuff, are you standing outside the car or in the uniform, waiting just to? Who's this guy over here? I
You have to have one of those stars.
A little
sheriff
checkpoint?
stars,
Deputy Do Right.
a little
big
checkpoint.
hat, a big 10-gallon hat.
What business do you have around here, sir?
You a bounty hunter? That's a living.
I know
Dying
you.
ain't no living.
I've seen your types before. City slick.
Dying ain't no way to live.
I love that line. That's one of Clint Eastwood's best lines when he says to the guy, 2 guys walk in to get him, and he looks at him, he goes, "You a bounty hunter?" And the guy goes, "It's a living." And Clint Eastwood looks at him and says, "Dying ain't much of a living." And then he kills both of them, right?
That was a good voiceover you did
Oh,
there.
thanks.
There
I'm
you go.
trying, man. I'm trying.
He's trying to
Clint had the
multitask.
best lines,
Yeah,
right?
man.
I remember even in the academy, there was this kid in my class, and we were going through the fun house, and these guys were like, trying to egg you on to do something, and he goes, go ahead, go ahead, motherfucker, make my day. Go ahead, make my motherfucking day. And we fucking goofed on this kid for the rest of the academy because he was like, go ahead, punk, make my day. And he had this high-pitched voice and he was Spanish. He goes, go ahead, punk, make my motherfucking day. We died laughing, man.
In the fun house, right?
Yeah, at the range. Remember they used to
yeah.
egg you on, like the guys would be
right.
like, come on, motherfucker, come on. What are you going to do now, right?
Yeah. And you'd watch it from upstairs.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
They still do that type of training now in the academy.
Do they?
Yeah, I see a guy yelling at them. They have a lot of different types. Now they're all coming for the camera training. They still have CIC.
Yeah.
I do the intac. There's a lot of different types of training, but they still do that one where they're yelling at them.
Yeah. Some of the things you can't train a human being to react to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you're a human being, you're going to react in a certain way. You can't train me not to do that, you know?
Yeah, so when you
What are
see
you
it on
talking
TV,
Well, I like when someone just gets in your face, you're going to react. You know, I'm not going to be, okay,
But there are
sir. You know.
there's telltale signs.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I noticed from doing my scenarios, the one I'm doing, the ones I do all the time, certain cops like to touch people.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I never like touching, unless when I'm touching you, you're going to know.
Right.
They're always like trying to do like this or trying to manipulate you or hold you this way. And just, even though I'm acting as a civilian, you know, unlike you, Bill, I am a theatrically trained actor. So
I'm classically trained.
I really get mad. I really get mad. I'm like,
trained.
and I say to them, like, don't touch me. Which is a natural reaction from the street. I want them to know that this is as close to reality as possible. I was, don't touch me.
Right.
And some people don't like to be touched. And now you're in a negative situation and maybe it's because I'm so much bigger than, you know, the average guy. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the academy. There's, you know, you stand up and all of a sudden he's 6'4", so that's why they want to. I don't know whether it's just maybe trying to control my hands, whatever.
Right.
But the easiest way to get into a physical altercation is by starting to make it physical by touching.
Right.
You know, instead of taking a step back, stay punching, kicking distance away, always moving.
There's ways to do that, but yet I always felt that you were the police and you had to take control of the situation. Like if someone was in the wrong, you can't let them dictate what you're going to do.
Right,
you have to dictate what you're going to make them do.
Right.
Well,
You know what
if
I mean?
you give them a verbal command,
Yeah.
you know, stay over there,
Right.
don't move. And now all of a sudden they start moving, and you take them and you put them back over. Didn't I tell you don't move?
Right.
Instead of, you know, like tell you
Right.
you gotta
I
it's got to be a
wasn't
forceful.
that, right. I let them know what exactly.
You got to
what I
use
wanted
force.
them
You have to
do.
use force. If you're going to use it distinctly.
But with these cameras, even cops can be afraid to use their voice in a way. Like you might say, "Hey, fucko, put your fucking head." Like, you can't do that now because, oh my God, the community will be horrified that you spoke to this guy like that.
but that works.
Yes, of course it works.
That gets
we
the
were
person
taught
to
by
comply.
voice commands, right? Voice
Right.
commands. And now, if they're going to take that tool away because Jacoby and Myers may not like the tape,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. You know, I would love to see what's his name running for president, Elizabeth Warren. No, she's out of the race now, and Bernie Sanders do a midnight tour in the 3-2 in a sector car. I'd like to see. They have diarrhea on their seats,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah,
and here's
yeah.
people that are judging cops,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
They're racist. They're racist.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Here, look, you and Bernie, right in this car. You don't even have to go to jobs. Just listen to the radio.
You know, one time we had a violent EDP, and we brought him to Columbia Press, and there was this one doctor, and this guy was a real liberal, like real flaming liberal, and he wanted him uncuffed.
Oh, yeah.
And we said, Doc, this guy fought us hard. I want him uncuffed. Doc, I'm telling you, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
This man has rights. He said, all right, that's fine. You want him uncuffed? We uncuff him. The guy, whack, knocks the doctor out.
Beautiful.
Clean.
End of liberalism.
Then he goes, and then he goes like this for us to cuff
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
We cuff him back up. Any questions,
That
Doc?
used to be the old expression.
He was out cold.
The definition of a conservative is a liberal that just got mugged, right?
So
Yeah.
when he came to, when he said that-
No, he just walked away.
Yeah, because now his liberalism, he had to rethink it.
He was like, oh.
He had to take the Marx and Engels book and throw it out, and he had to
That was the
start
funniest
reading.
thing to see.
Start listening to Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh, yeah.
I have a theory that fixes you for about 5 minutes, and
Yeah,
then
then
you go back. You go back to
your
maybe
comfort
maybe
zone.
more.
Yeah.
Well, the cops liked it. You know, it was nice.
Oh, it's a great story.
I would,
It's a great
I would have
story.
taken pictures and put it
Oh, we
all
were
over
laughing.
Facebook, but
We
it's
were
probably
laughing.
before Facebook.
And
you
this
know?
guy was known to be a liberal. Like
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he did it all the time. You know, he was always complaining.
Yeah.
And
Take the cuffs off.
and
And
it
the
probably
fact
never-
that he got bopped.
Yeah,
oh.
and it probably never happened before that. That wasn't his
Yeah.
first time telling somebody to take the cuffs off.
Right, right.
And he got it, yeah.
you know, he got his. That was funny.
I would love when the chiefs on this job, had an important interview and interrogation, and be like, take the gloves off in there. Go ahead, chief. You fucking take the gloves off. What do you think this is, 1956? Yeah. Take the gloves off.
You mean like an interrogation?
Yeah. And then when the IAB takes me out in cuffs, I said, he told me to take the gloves off.
Like that guy in that was it Nassau County or was it Suffolk County? Right, the chief out in Suffolk.
Oh,
did they beat a guy?
Yeah, he's in prison now.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, he actually I think he just got out
He just got out.
or something like that. But now the former DA is going in. He got convicted of
What happened?
The chief of Suffolk County
Suffolk
Police,
County.
actually.
Burke.
Yeah, Burke.
I remember him,
He
yeah.
beat some kid. He beat up some kid, and the kid became like an informant against him or something, right? I don't know the full story.
Yeah, the kid was under arrest for something, and he had broken into Chief Burke's car.
That's right.
And in his car, I guess he found like.
Oh, he had some porn
like
videos,
porn
and he
videos
was the
and stuff
star.
like that.
He was Johnny Wad.
So he was like he was antagonizing the chief. Hey, you're a pervert. You're a pervert. And so the chief went in there and supposedly beat him, and the detectives had to pull him off, and the feds got involved in the whole 9 yards. And then initially the DA, I guess, covered that up. The DA was his friend. The DA was instrumental in him getting the chief position. So now he got arrested. He did his time. He got out, and now the DA is going in.
But you know something? He got his pension too. I heard.
Oh, he retired when
Yeah.
the thing.
That's amazing how chiefs get to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you're below the rank of what's the, I guess the rank where they start wearing white shirts is captain, right?
Captain, yeah.
So below, lieutenant and below, everyone goes to prison or gets, and above that. That was what happened with.
But it's an interesting thing with the cancel culture. It's just like these people losing their jobs. And especially depending on what age you lose your job, it's like, what am I supposed to do? Start all over again? This was
Right.
my career. I made an error. I screwed up. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. I'm
Right.
sorry. But now I can't ever work again. What are we doing right now?
Yeah, that's
Right.
what's hard. You can't just go to the next police department.
Right.
You know,
I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Even if it's not law enforcement, just any job in general, especially if you're a reporter or I don't know, politician or something like that.
Oh,
A
you're
teacher.
talking about the hashtag Me Too culture?
I'm talking, well, what they created
Yeah.
in the cancel culture is
Yeah.
that if they don't like if you said something wrong 30 years ago, you're not allowed to work anymore in this industry.
No, that's outrageous.
It's
It's
just-
really outrageous,
And then we're talking about different sets of circumstances and rules.
But you know something? The people that created that now have to live with it too. I mean, look what they did to Kavanaugh, and then who was the senator? Who was the Saturday Night Live guy? Al Franken. He wound up getting fired over the same thing.
Well,
that
who
they,
was? That was a big mistake. Who I think
time.
who was the female that kind of forced? Was it Kristen Hildebrand?
Gillibrand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she threw him under the bus. Yeah,
She was the one
She
that
did.
really
Yeah. his own party.
Yeah,
And I was a fan of his comedy. I remember him on Saturday Night
He's a pretty
Live.
funny guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually very intelligent, brilliant guy. That was one of the.
I was a fan of his comedy, but not of his politics.
But
you know?
I mean, still, as a human being, he make a couple of
No,
mistakes.
I'm not saying he
And
deserved
and
to get his whole life
The photo-
turned upside down
Yeah,
over
yeah.
it.
You know, the photos what screwed him up.
The videos, not only photos, there was a video of him.
I remember the photo of him.
Oh, was
Maybe
it
it was the
videos? I
video.
didn't know
Like
it was video,
he was
yeah.
going up to like
Yeah.
she was sleeping and
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. If things don't constantly feed you, then they become like you could always go back
Right.
and like try to destroy it afterwards. There's a lot of these people involved in the Me Too that took advantage of the moment to push their careers along, and then when things stalled in their career, we're gonna go one more time to the well. I guess maybe
Well,
get a book out of it.
Everybody sues these days,
yeah.
And if it doesn't work out in your favor forever, then you feel like you got burned on a deal.
Yeah.
Like imagine every time you bought a car that broke down eventually at some point. You can go back to the owner 10 years later and be like, "Hey, you owe me a car." What are you talking about? 10 years ago.
This thing broke down.
Yeah, it broke down now.
Well, how
So-
about even on the PD with the OEEO shit? And look, there's no doubt that there's sexual harassment. And yeah, some people use their rank to get whatever, but there's also the other side of that coin where people that I've seen real zeros sue the department over,
Yeah, comments made.
Yeah, like, are you kidding? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a rough job.
Yeah,
you know what I
tape
mean?
recording people.
Yeah, I mean, like even
At
to
some
say
point-
special victims, what they talk about is some heinous shit.
Right.
Oh yeah, he sodomized her. So if the PAA over there doesn't like what we're talking about, she can be outraged and file a lawsuit. But that's our job. We have to talk about that.
Yeah.
We have to know what to charge this person. You're upset with that, then you shouldn't be working here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that talk, like Bloomberg got in trouble for that. Over his campaign, some of the stuff that he said in the past, and those.
And he didn't know how to handle it at all.
No, he was horrible.
He was terrible.
So whoever that team is, they should
Oh
not
my
be
God.
able to work in politics
They made
ever,
a lot of
ever
money off
again.
him.
I know, but they
made a lot of money.
they gave him horrible advice. Wouldn't you just assume that if you're going to go debate on that type of platform in front of that many people, that we'd have a room, something like this, where we'd go and we practice every day for months,
Right, yeah.
until there came time, and then I would
Absolutely.
be firing questions at you, and there'd be somebody else yelling at you over there, and then somebody dressed as Donald Trump doing his voice, and he's bashing you and calling
Right.
you all different type of things.
Mini Mike.
By the time I
names
would
for
have get
everybody.
done with my campaign practicing to run my campaign, Mini Mike would have been the least the thing that would have bothered me.
right.
It would have never affected me.
But
he seemed like so affected by everything.
But Mark, that sounds so juvenile and so infantile, like that a name is going to like hurt you.
Right.
But when he does it,
It does.
It smacks them right across
I
the
know.
face.
Well, it also makes you
Pocahontas,
distracted.
so
It
she's
makes
like-
you
It
laugh.
sticks.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sticks.
Look at what
Yeah.
happened. On the way here, I heard this. Cuomo, they can't give you an update on the coronavirus without saying that Trump is the one spreading it. So Andrew Cuomo says something, and then he has to add in that little...
The little dig, yeah.
So then Trump comes right back, and he says something about him, and he better not bring your brother Fredo either.
Yeah, Fredo. And that's killing him. That's killing
yeah,
Chris.
yeah,
That's
forever.
killing the brother Fredo.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
you know,
killing him.
People call him Fredo everywhere.
Chris Cuomo's a shit stirrer.
I
man.
know, I know.
Oh, after like the Michael Brown thing, he was out on the street stirring up the shit with
Yeah,
the people.
yeah.
I was just like, this guy's a reporter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah,
it was
Fredo, yeah.
But that's something that's
That's
forever.
killing him.
Oh,
When
yeah,
that guy
yeah.
did that in that
Oh
bar.
my God!
Oh,
yeah, but he
went
tried
right
to act like a
after
real
it.
tough guy.
Yeah.
Fucking throw you down.
Yeah.
Here's the Queen's accent. I'll throw you down the fucking. All of a sudden, you became a tough guy.
Yeah.
You know.
And the guy played him off nice, too.
Yeah,
The guy's
yeah.
like, no, I thought your name was Fredo. And Rush Limbaugh loved it. He's like, I renamed him, you know?
It's really, really hard to keep your cool. We're former cops, and we know the word hooked. Getting hooked.
Yeah.
And it happens to everybody. You're
But how
going to
does
get
it-
hooked.
How does
when-
it feel, politicians,
Yeah,
to get hooked?
Yeah, well, look at that guy. Cuomo got hooked, man. He
Yeah.
didn't like what the guy said. Instead of turning that situation on its head and keeping it lighthearted and being funny and figuring
Yeah.
out a clever way to diffuse this situation, he let it get to him.
And
then
then he makes up a thing like, calling an Italian Fredo is the equivalent of using the N-word.
Yeah, I don't know where he
like,
got
where
that
did
from.
you, where did you
Where
get
did-
that
yeah,
from?
yeah.
Somebody
Is that in
never
the
heard that.
Italian handbook? Where'd you
I've
get
never
that
heard
from?
that.
That's in the book of
never heard
excuses.
that.
Yeah,
Like when you're
exactly.
trying to sit there, come up with excuses.
Calling me Clancy is the equivalent of calling a black guy with
You ever
the
get into an
N-word.
argument with somebody, but not the original argument, the one that you're having with them after you lost the first argument, and all the things that you should have said to them, and then when you're telling people your story about what happened with the argument, then all of a sudden it becomes
comes up
blurry.
to you.
You forget what did I really say, and what did I say in my head after the argument. And I told him, man, he didn't tell him anything. The guy
You
smacked
lost.
you once,
You
and he
lost.
got out of there.
But it's like it is effective because I think any of these, you can think what you want about Trump, whatever, but any of these politicians, I think they're afraid to debate him because he's not afraid to say anything.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
They're
yeah.
talking the political line. He's like, hey, he'll just
But
say whatever.
in between there, that's the scary part, is where the facts come in.
Yeah.
So when he were being attacked, not only that, but the stances that he chooses to take, like to just go so blatantly on the side of stop, question, and frisk, when
Yeah.
all of it was being negative, realizing that there's 50% of the population who agree with me, and those are the people that I'm going after. And that's where Bloomberg dropped the ball, because in that situation, you're never going to come on the right side of that, because they're so far left. You're never going to be able to blend in. Mm-hmm. And you've done this already, so you might as well own it and try to get all the moderate votes. So now you can look at somebody, well, maybe this guy could actually beat Trump. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because he's so similar to him, and he's not him.
He just, I mean, not to get off on politics, but Bloomberg just came across as unlikable.
Yeah, and he didn't come across as a personality.
Yeah,
it's funny. I saw Elizabeth Warren bit on SNL, and I laughed. The girl that does her on the show, she's doing a little dancing, and then Elizabeth Warren is dancing behind her, and it was a funny sketch. It's like a minute
and
sketch,
she drinks Michelob's.
Michelob's, right?
But look, it humanized her. It made her fun, and it made her a little bit different than the person that was yelling at Bernie Sanders. Right. Now we're seeing two different sides of a person. If that video would have came out a week earlier, 2 weeks earlier, maybe it changes the opinion of a lot of people. Maybe she's still in the race.
Well, they say that Trump going on Howard Stern, that really humanized him.
Well, also too was the other guy when he touched his hair. They hate him for that, Jimmy Fallon. I think Jimmy Fallon? No, Jimmy Kimmel touched his hair.
He touched Trump's hair? I didn't even...
Yeah, he goes, is that real? And they'll always be like, oh, that was the day he was humanized. Like, he was humanized. He grew up in New York City. I remember seeing him every single day on TV over here.
But you know what I think that you see with politics and politicians now is that how human they are, because they make such huge mistakes. Biden can't say a sentence without...
I know. It's
and
horrible.
Trump can't say a sentence without lying. Yeah, he lies about everything. But so do all politicians. But they had a little meme the other day that said, Obama, an extremely elegant liar. Trump, just a liar. It's true, but they all lie. But something.
That's the thing. It's like how do you want your lies? How would you like them prepared?
You want them with some ice cream, or do you want them just punched in the face? You want your lies?
Yeah, Joe Biden really shouldn't be running.
Oh my God,
he's in bad.
Mental condition.
Yeah.
It's
and
I mean,
he called his wife his sister.
His sister, his wife.
Sister, his wife. Yeah.
I love a couple of years ago. It was during the Obama thing. He goes, "Hey Joe, stand up," and someone goes, "He has no legs." Oh yeah, okay, you just.
There's always a mistake like that with him. There's always a big blunder.
The worst type of mistake.
You know what it is? I think he looks to me like when he was young, he was quite the ladies' man, a charmer, could work a room. He doesn't look that much more polished to me.
Well, he's 77 years old.
But he doesn't speak in a way like he's out here challenging people to do push-ups.
No.
He's sort of like a tough guy. You know what I'm saying?
He wanted to be a little bit
older. He's too old to be a tough guy now. But he sizes people up when he looks at them. He goes, how many push-ups can you do? Like that's what's on his mind.
Yeah.
What was that? You dog-faced pony soldiers. What was that?
Yeah, I don't even know what he meant by that.
I don't either. Where did that come from?
They got rid of that bus real quick too, though, because they had the bus with his motto on it.
No malarkey. Or something like that.
And that was so bad.
God.
You would think to yourself,
tour.
there's somebody. How old are the people that are working in this campaign? He's never.
I know.
Malarkey. I barely know what malarkey means.
Bernie Sanders is 78. Trump's up there now too. He's like 74.
Yeah, he's about 74. But the thing is, are you sharp? Are your faculties there?
Well, Trump has. It seems like he has unlimited energy. The guy doesn't need any sleep.
Yeah, he's incredible.
And he has the raccoon eyes because I don't think he puts the makeup around.
Yeah, it's like an orange face.
When it's all said and done.
These
when
are
it's
our
all
leaders.
said and done.
These are our choices.
All these different candidates and everybody from all walks of the country, different colors, shapes, sizes, and at the end it's three white guys.
That's what it came down to.
3 white guys again.
Look at how many people were running for the Democratic nomination. Would they start with like 16 or 20?
I think more, like 22.
Yeah, and it's like now it's down to leaders. Bernie Sanders.
You obviously need money.
I can't believe anyone would vote for that guy.
Yeah.
He wants to destroy
that's
the
what
country.
they're trying to do. They're trying to prop him up and let him be the candidate. You know what I'm saying? That's what Trump would want. Because
he'll shred Bernie Sanders.
Like McGovern lost like 48 states.
Yeah.
He lost 48 states.
Mondale lost 49.
Yeah. Castro was a good guy. He had a literacy program.
Well, listen, there's people that are they're all in. They really believe it.
Well,
Like,
I think they do want Biden because if they get Biden in there,
He'll
then they
die
control
soon. He'll die soon, and the vice
they can
president
control
will-
him.
Yeah.
They're going to pick his vice president. They're going to tell him what to do. He's not going to know what to do. So it's like having like 4 or 5 presidents.
They'll put Hillary as the vice president, and she'll have Biden killed.
There you go. Within 6 months.
if you notice how many moving pieces are just floating around, waiting for it to see what happens. Like so, for example, it's already been the cat's out of the bag that there's an investigation that's like 2 months away from Burisma. That's gonna. There's a subpoena coming for the son, so that's already just in case.
Bernie.
Bernie is the candidate, and then Hillary. They've all of a sudden there's another federal judge that said we're going to look into her server again.
Yeah,
So just in case
It's unbelievable.
anybody's deciding to pick her up, you're going to have to deal with all that baggage that comes with
That's
that.
right.
And they're going to find out. They're going to be able to read every single message. They probably could already anyway, and somebody's been hiding it. There's no way to get rid of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but they'll have another impeachment investigation
There
against
you go.
Trump.
They
too.
will, but it's these are the two
These
people.
are the people
and then
we
the only,
elect.
the only Sanders, all they're gonna have to do is yell out communist every single time.
Exactly. He's not a socialist. He's a communist.
Just
And you
keep
see what
yelling.
they're doing? They keep leaking these old Biden videos, these old Biden quotes.
Oh, about Sanders?
No, about just anything. Now he's using racial slurs.
Uh-huh.
He was
God.
using the N-word on something.
Well, I saw a picture of him. He's shaking the guy's. It's the guy in the. Well, the guy was the leader of the Klan, and he's shaking his hand like on a thing at a parade. So I mean, everybody's got a picture. You don't know who you take.
And then they
pictures
said
with.
Jesse Jackson just endorsed Bernie Sanders. They said, if that's not the kiss of death, what is?
I know, right? Every kid.
Anyone else wanna endorse
how many
Bernie?
Democratic candidates have gone their whole campaign has gone down the toilet right after the Jesse Jackson
Endorsement.
endorsement. I'd like to see the
Reverend Al
history
could
of
be
it.
next, you know?
Yeah, he could.
Yeah,
He's bigger than Jackson.
I mean, he's. I remember when he ran for president, Jackson.
Jesse,
remember?
yeah. He actually got a lot of votes.
Yeah. Wasn't 84, 88?
Yeah, he got a lot of votes, man.
Yeah.
Politics.
Yeah, but I think I haven't. I do see people laughing at Biden. I haven't laughed at
It's
him.
scary. Imagine which one is the button I press.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is it that one or this one?
I think that's a joke that's been running for a while, though. I think what's scary with him is just that, Ronald Reagan supposedly had dementia.
Yeah, but after he was
Alzheimer.
out, he was out, I think.
Yeah, but it started happening.
Yeah,
They started
probably.
making the jokes while he was in his second term. So to
I
go
think
in.
he was about 78 too at that time.
Yeah. He was,
I think, when he started that term.
Yeah.
he was struggling during the debates for the second term.
Yeah.
He was struggling a little.
And he was a brilliant orator when he was
Yeah,
on his
yeah.
game.
On his game,
Yeah.
It's a shame to watch it go down like that.
It's like Obama was a brilliant orator and a brilliant speaker and a very good debater. I think he had one bad debate against Mitt Romney, but other than that, he was a great speaker. That's
was,
important in being a
I
politician.
remember
It's everything.
everybody
Yeah.
talking about that. What a great orator he was.
Yeah.
When he
John F. Kennedy was a great orator. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Ask not what you can do for your country. Ask how much money you can get from welfare.
Rashad, we're gonna have to put together just all clips of Bill doing impressions. They all sound the same. The Spanish guy sounds like the Irish guy, sounds like the German guy. It's the same impression. The range is incredible, right? You know how you get a whole thing of range? His is like, that's it. All right, so how are we going to wrap this up, man? We covered no police work today.
We got 5 minutes
I feel
left.
like we cheated today.
I don't know. I don't think we spoke about him much.
We did a little bit.
Andrew feels raped. He feels
Let's take the test.
Oh wait, we got to at least go back to Carmel and to ask him about running for sheriff. That's the right. You're running for sheriff, aren't you?
Yeah, there's no announcement, but it's next year.
Oh,
And
next year.
Yeah, and that's a plan. That's a plan.
Okay.
To do it.
Is it because you want to rape and pillage the community of Carmel?
I want to wear the Spurs.
You want to wear the Spurs?
This
Well,
way, when you
that's
come
why-
up, I'm somebody.
Will you give Detective Pat a job?
Is that a
Text?
full-time gig?
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What
It's,
are we talking? What's the pay for something like that?
I think 151, 150, something like that. And then people under him are pretty similar, about 140, 130.
And then
something like that.
I guess all over Carmel, everything's on the on from that point on, right? I ain't treated like a king up there.
Well, everybody I have with me is retired NYPD.
Who's in your team? Anyone else we know?
I'm sure you do. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Just think about it right now. If you were actually the sheriff in Carmel, you can call a state of emergency right now.
That's
It'll
right.
be on you. You could do it.
Yeah, that'd be
just,
nice.
You know, and you can always call it.
There's a new sheriff in town.
And his name is Andrew.
We will ban
DeStefano.
the drinking of Coronas. We now drink Presidente beer.
As per the sheriff.
You know,
of
when I
Carmel.
went to a Dominican resort one time, it was all inclusive, like you were talking about, and the beer was Presidente, and I don't like that shit.
Why?
That was what was included. I was like, I drink Corona, so I had to pay for the Coronas.
Why don't you
So-
like Presidente? Beer is beer.
I don't like Presidente. I don't know.
How much? I always have a
You
problem
like
with
that?
people like that. Like, how much different is beer?
It's different. The
I
taste
don't really.
is different.
I never really. IPAs.
Do you like Presidente beer?
I think
I
it's
don't
great.
drink.
Oh, you don't drink.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And I've had. Listen, I like IPAs.
Those
the
are too strong for me. I don't need a beer that tastes like it has a shot of whiskey in it. That's what an IPA tastes like to me. The taste is good, but it's too damn strong.
A Presidente strong?
Not really, no,
no.
but IPAs.
Oh, okay.
You drink an
Like
IPA,
Budweiser. Like it's almost like Coors Light.
an IPA?
No, Coors. Presidente.
Oh, Presidente, yeah. It's a lighter beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I've
good. It's good, refreshing. You're on the beach. You have a beer. What the hey? This guy. What do you want? What do you want? You said-
Marina, Dominicana. I know that song from
That's
Coogan's.
another one. We're gonna add that one.
I know that song from Coogan's.
We're gonna add that one too, Rashad. Okay. All right, man.
Did you drink Presidente when you went to Coogan's?
No, I think I just when I go to the DR.
Just
I'm very easy-going. Wherever I go, I do whatever. What are we drinking here?
You
Rum?
know he's Dominican. You didn't know that, right?
Half.
Half. Half
Yeah,
Dominican.
but if I go to, I'm going to Jamaica in 2 weeks. I'm going to drink rum when I get there. I'm not, easy go, and Red Stripe.
You think
I do
the-
it. Yeah, I'm not
You
looking to
think the
fight anybody.
Jamaicans will recognize you from the police off the cuff show, or it hasn't reached the island of Jamaica?
I don't know. We'll find out when
Gonna
I get
hand out
there.
our cards when you go there.
I'm gonna find out when I get there, man.
Man, listen to this.
You should tape from there. That would be pretty
That's- Oh
cool.
my God, we'd
Oh,
love
in
to.
the future, yeah.
From Montego
Why not?
Bay, we should do a live show.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, we take a shot on the road.
Rashad's all in.
All right. So, Bill, any parting words?
Nah, this went so fast. I mean, it seems like we didn't cover your police career that much. We got involved in other topics.
Not much to cover
always welcome
compared
to
to
the
compared to the guys you've had.
I hope
not
you,
much
I
to
hope you
cover.
didn't mind. No, hey,
No, it was great.
He has the Medal of Valor too.
No, it was great.
You know, we never mentioned that. We never
It's not.
got.
No, and I like your cars here too.
Yeah, I
Nice,
like
yeah.
these cars.
But he got the real Medal of Valor, not the.
Yeah, the community affairs.
Not the community.
You know,
of, oh, wait, we spoke
not the
about
specialist.
that.
Not the specialist one, right?
community
Well, I
affairs.
hope that you become the sheriff of Carmel,
Yeah,
and
we'll see what happens.
I'll
Thank you.
send Detective Pat up there for a job. Tex will be showing
Tex
up with
his
his
cowboy
cowboy
boot.
hat.
All guns must be left in the.
He'll hear from a bar owner. Some guy put 20 on the wood, said he should drink all night. 20 on the wood makes him feel good.
Oh, he would love it up there with all the VFWs.
Oh, forget it. He would never leave.
He's gonna be like in Tombstone, the guy dealing the poke over there. What was the guy's name? He was married to Angelina Jolie. What was the actor?
Brad Pitt.
No,
No.
the other guy. He was in Tombstone.
Oh,
Remember, he's dealing the poker and he comes over and he smacks him.
Oh, yeah,
What was that guy's name?
Russell?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton plays the card dealer there. They get smacked. He gets, he smacks the crap out of him. Remember? Go ahead.
I saw-
Skin that baloney pony, whatever the thick gun is. Remember that scene?
I remember
That's
that
Billy
scene, but I
Bob
don't think
Thornton.
it was Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, you wanna make a bet?
I think it was Kurt Russell.
Well, Kurt Russell plays White Earp. The guy who's dealing the cards is Billy Bob Thornton.
Is it really?
He kicks him out of the bar. He goes, that guy.
Oh, he smacks him around.
Once he came
I
in here,
didn't
we
know-
could
I
never get
didn't
rid
know-
of him.
I didn't know that was Billy Bob
I
Thornton.
know
Yeah,
you
no,
did.
neither did I.
That's
I
a
didn't
bit
know
of
that.
trivia
Because he
he's
seemed too big for Billy Bob.
heavier there, but it's him.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Because
I'll
Billy
bet
Bob
you. You want
Thornton
to
was,
bet?
yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, I know I'm
But
right.
that was funny. Yeah, that was good.
If I'm gonna bet, I'm right.
You ever
Trust
see
me.
the scene in the Lonesome Dove where a bartender wises off to Willie Nelson? He goes, "Give me that bottle," and the guy goes over, and then the bartender leaves, he grabs him by the hair and smacks his head against the bar. Don't you ever disrespect Texas Rangers?
Or sheriffs.
Oh, sheriffs, that's for sure.
Carmel Sheriff.
Is it Carmel or Carmel?
well, it's Carmel,
Carmel.
but the sheriff is the sheriff of Putnam. It's a county.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carmel.
And Putnam was is an Indian name. Where does that Putnam come from?
Israel Putnam was a general in the Revolutionary War.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Look
see
at
that
this
we
shit. He
learned?
knows the
We
whole
learned?
history. These
right,
are
man.
questions on the sheriff exam.
He knew it. He nailed it.
It was on the captain's exam.
I'm coming
right.
up there to get deputized, man.
Holy
I want you to put one of those signs outside the town that all the firearms have to be checked in at the sheriff's office, and just like but it has to be written out, like if you're going into like an old West town, you know?
Yeah. Like the old style signs.
Yeah. Like right as you're coming into town. Remember how they avoided seeing the sign in Tombstone? You know, no, that was Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
English Bill. Forgot to freaking check his guns in. Another one who got the shit smacked out of him. All right, man. I suffered, my allergies killed me the whole 2 hours here, but you were a great guest, by the way.
Oh, thanks for having me. I
You're always
appreciate it.
welcome to come back, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you. Appreciate
for
it.
stopping by, Police Off the Cuff. All right, man. That's it. Another episode in the books, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you.
I think
Peace.
this is episode 72 and 73, I think it is. Yeah.
All right. Nobody's going to argue with you, Bill. You're the only one keeping track of
I
that.
don't know. I'm having a hard time.
He's the keeper of facts. Bill is the keeper of facts.